What's up, Northwoods Cardboard Gang? Today we're going to be checking out again some Pokemon card investments that are opportunities that are coming forward here in the Pokemon TCG as we go further into 2023. So you're going to want to sit back, relax, and not miss this list. Alright guys, as always, I'm Andy with Northwoods TCG, and today I'm going to go over another grouping of investment cards in the Pokemon TCG. There were so many in the last video that I decided to bring 5 forward onto this video, and we can take a look at 5 more for yourselves to be looking at as not only for an investment into singles, but also some opportunities in the graded card market when it comes down to these particular picks. Once again, I try and give you a little bit of a dual purpose, some dual opportunities, and some really good potentials inside of these cards as we move forward. And it's always fun to sit back and take a look at all the different opportunities in the Pokemon TCG with what's going on and see where something might be standing out in the market. So without further ado, let's kick into the first one, which is going to be this one. All right, guys, so here we are at the first card, which is going to be the Stained Glass Birds from Hidden Fates, the promo card that comes in the ETBs. Now, a lot of people have not been watching this particular card, and the reason being is pretty simple, right? It's a promo card. There's a lot of things going on in Pokemon TCG, and this card has really not done much in the last 3 years up until the last 6 months. Now, what are we seeing on this particular card overall? We're seeing this one just exponentially keep ticking away over and over and over again, and we've almost doubled in value in the last, not quite 3 months. We were about $11, $10.50 on this card, and now we're sitting at $20. So we've almost doubled the value of this card in a very short time period. Once again, Hidden Fates not getting a lot of reprints, not a lot of opportunities to be able to find this product without paying $175 to $180 in ETB. And overall, that's the only place you're going to be getting this card at the end of the day is inside of those ETBs. So once again, this promo is becoming more and more scarce. I know there's probably a lot of people sitting on these cards in places, but in general, this is actually looking like it's starting to get some traction. And once again, cards from Sun and Moon, we're seeing a lot of traction opportunities in this particular card. Once again, you don't have to get this graded, and I really don't see a huge grading benefit to this, because even if you get this in a PSA 10, you're only looking at about a $71 to a $75 value in a PSA 10. So even if you get it at 20, you put that, you're going to put in the $15 to ship it and plus shipping. You know, you're looking at around $18 to ship this thing out. So you're looking at about $38 to get this out and potentially doubling your money. If you get the 9, you're going to be down to about a $25 to $28 card. So there's no value in a 9. You have to get the 10 on this particular card. And when I see that, I really don't see a huge grading opportunity right now. Futuristically, it could come back. We could see it. But overall, the Raw is just doing its own thing and doing really well. So I think the Raw card at the end of the day is going to be the better option, and just let this one sit. If you purchase it now, even at $20, I see this card continuing to move up just slowly over time over the next couple years. The Stained Glass card is a really flashy promo card from Hidden Fates and from the end of the Sun and Moon era, and it really does a nice piece when it comes down to those three birds, legendary birds from the original series. So once again, Gen 1 legendary birds is definitely a huge hit for, of course, the OGs of this hobby. Collectors and everything are liking them. The Galarian birds are coming in. We're seeing a little bit of a change, a little bit of an update when it comes down to these particular birds. And we're seeing it be actually presenting in some of the older stuff when it comes down to those characters in the Pokemon TCG. So once again, definitely one of them cards that I am purchasing. I've already got quite a few of these. I've purchased them over time, but it's definitely one of those things that I'm not afraid to continue to purchase these as we continue to move up in price. I'd probably keep purchasing them until I probably hit around that $25 mark, and I probably shut it off there. Just because overall, I think if you go over $25, it's just going to get slower and slower and slower gains over time. I could be wrong, but my safety net's telling me to stop around that $23 to $25 range and just shut it off and stop purchasing them at that point. So once again, Stained Glass promo birds from the Hidden Fates ETBs, a great option for your investments currently. Moving on to the next one. That's right, guys. We have got the fire-breathing dragon himself in his shiny form. That's right. The Shiny Vault Charizard from Shining Fates is the one that made the list here at this point. And the reason being is just the fact that this thing has dropped down to such a nice price that it's really hard not to want to purchase it. When I see this Charizard at $80, I did not think it would quite get that far. I was thinking 90 to $85. It's gone a little bit lower, but it's already kind of rebounding after that. The last big push of Shiny Fates, I think, just hit the market. It's off the shelf at Pokemon Center. We've seen another big push of it into the Walmarts and Targets, which is why I think this has affected the overall price of this card, is that there's more product out there, more product being open, a couple more of these are being found. But in general, I think that we're probably seeing the end of the Shiny Fates line itself, and we won't be seeing very much of this product showing up in your local Targets and Walmarts or even Walgreens or all the other places that showed up, even GameStop. And it's time to maybe be looking at jumping in on this particular card. Overall, it's a great card. It's a fantastic card. This is actually, personally, it might be a hot take, my favorite Charizard from from Sword and Shield era. They think they did a fantastic job on this one. That VMAX form in the purple with bringing back the shiny version of this particular card, to me, just is a pop card. It really pops out in a collection, as you can see behind me. It really stands out. You can see it from anywhere in a room of Charizards. It's a really flashy card. So once again, I think they did a really good job on this one. It stands out. It's great. Collectors like this card. It's a really good centerpiece when it comes down to a Charizard collection. And overall, when you're looking at these investments, the Charizard collection is where you want to look. Now, when it comes down to the grading factor of this particular card, I do see a good grading opportunity, and this one is kind of a grade easy when it comes down to PSA 10s. If you want to be looking at that option, you're looking at about a $200 card right now on a PSA 10. I don't know how long that market will hold at that price, but it's definitely there currently. So if you were to get a couple of these, find the best center and best, cleanest cards that you can find and send them to PSA. Get the 10 opportunity, you'll do fairly well. Even if you get a 9 right now, you're going to be coming back about $120 to $130 currently in this card. So once again, there's a little bit of a buffer that if you buy it at 80, you send it out for grading, you're going to be under $100 at that point, and there's an opportunity to make $30 on this card just bringing it back. So even at PSA 9, there is the opportunities available into it, but definitely shoot for that 10 if you're going to be doing the grading side, and you'll do really well when it comes over to the profit margins on this particular card. So once again, that's what I got for this one. We're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be this. Next one I got on the list is one of my personal favorites from Evolving Skies. That's right, this Noivern V alternate art to me is a beautiful card, a beautiful art illustration, and I really do like that they took the bat and put it in the night in the city, dropping down from a tower into the city itself. I think it's a fantastic artwork. Overall, I really do see this doing extremely well futuristically. It's a very kind of a dark looking card, but for a lot of collectors, it's a really nice looking standout piece when it comes down to that alternate art collection. When I look at it, I look at the alternate art opportunities in this particular card. Once again, it's kind of shadowed out by everything else that's happening in Evolving Skies. Everybody's focusing on evolutions because Moonbrand's a hot take. We've even seen kind of Dragonite getting forgotten when it comes down to the overall gains in this particular set, even though it's a fan favorite Pokemon. Noivern, once again, a really nice looking character, a very nice looking card. I think that there's some opportunities for this to circle back maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 years down the road, and this one do extremely well. But when you're looking at a price point of only $34, I definitely think that there's some great opportunities in this particular card in the future. As for the grading side of this card, definitely not one that I would grade personally right now. PSA 10 is only running about $88. Once again, people are focusing on the different cards in this particular set and around it, and this one's kind of sitting. Do I think futuristically there's an opportunity in it? Of course, I think that there's always an opportunity in a card like this to pop off maybe a few years into the future, but that means you're not in any rush to really grade this. So you have to be good for a binder collection or a good binder investment just to kind of put them away and protect them and leave them in those binders for the future of that particular card. So once again, some great opportunities potentially in this card, but it's not really there in the grading side at this point, but definitely in the single itself. I think that that's a great price at that $33 to $34 range, and it's going to have some really good things in the near future. Moving on to the next one. All right, the next one, we're going to go back a little bit further in time, but to me, it's still a really great card. Is going to be this Flareon EX. That's right, this Flareon EX from Generations, to me, from the Generations Radiant collection, is just a pop-off card. I mean, it's got the big eyes, the cute looking persona to it that it draws in like people like my daughter into this, and collectors. It stands out in a collection. It looks really good. To me, it's a really nice artwork when it comes down to that Generations Radiant collection. And when you're looking at a price point right now of about $69 on this particular card, I think that it's still a steal of a deal. And when I look at it this way too, is when I look at the grading factor of this, there's also a good opportunity in that particular side of it also. So if you were to per se get this graded and it comes back at PSA 10, you're looking at about $275 currently at a PSA 10 value. Now, even if you get this back at a 9, you're still looking at about $175 to $180. So even if you purchase this at $70, get it graded and turn it around, you're still got a good opportunity at that 9 to 10. The one catch is that with the EX cards from that generation, they were a little bit more difficult to grade because the quality just wasn't quite there in those cards at that point in time. The quality nowadays is a lot better than what it was back at the EX era, back in that XY era of Pokemon. So there are issues that come up when it comes down to the actual quality of the cards, whether it's surface scuffs, whitening on the edges, it's off center. There's a lot of issues that come into play with those particular cards. But if you do potentially purchase some of these and you get a good one with some really nice centering in it, then there's some good opportunities for that PSA 10 to have some good value if you can get it graded out that way, and you still got the safety net of that PSA 9. Overall, I do think that this is going to be a continued thing with the Flareons and with the evolutions in general. There's always that drawing factor to generation after generation of people loving evolutions. And if they ever do add in more evolutions here in the near future, we might be seeing more draw into those particular cards. So even the raw itself, I think, is going to do fantastic over time. Definitely having this in a collection and just waiting for it to mature out even more in the time. I definitely think that there's some good opportunities in this Flareon card in the future. So once again, I think that it's a gorgeous card. I think it's a really well played Generations Radiant collection. I definitely think that this will be a good player when it comes down to the future of the evolution lines in the Pokemon TCG. So once again, not afraid to jump on this one. It's moving up now. Definitely going to continue to move up here in the future as we get further and further pulled away from that Generations. And it's going to be more and more difficult to find those packs that card could potentially be in. So what's out there might be getting close to what's out there in general, except for people with sealed product collections that might have a couple of them or a few of them on shelves in places. So once again, definitely a great card. Definitely it's going to do well. Overall, I do think right now it's a little undervalued, and it's showing in the market as we're seeing this pricing continue to increase on this particular card. Moving on to the next one. I know most of you guys were planning on me having my, please subscribe to the channel at this point. And if you haven't yet, please do so if you made it this far into the video. But we're going to go one more before we do that. That's right. If you were at the beginning of the video, you thought I was going to be doing 5. I'm actually doing 6. I am throwing in a bonus one just because I was in the generation side. And I happen to find this little hidden gem sitting inside of there that I think is worth mentioning, which is going to be this Pikachu from the Generations Radiant collection. Once again, a beautiful artwork with Pikachu. Pikachu is a standout character in Pokemon TCG, and we have seen this card go up slightly over the past few months also. It was about $25, $28 2 months ago. Now we're seeing it about $40, and it shows no sign of slowing down. Overall, I think the value is in this card. Pikachus draw a really good fan base, especially full art Pikachus such as this one. Plus, it's the anniversary set with the Generations, so there's a lot of opportunity potential in this particular card. Once again, if you can get this graded, because it's a more difficult grade, you're looking at about a $200 value in a PSA 10. And if you can get this in a PSA 9, you're looking at about $100 to $110 for the actual value of PSA 9. Once again, there is that opportunity for the grading potential in this particular card. Personally, I'm fine with leaving it either direction. I think that it'll be a great sales piece come 10 years down the line, especially when this thing really gets old. I think if you can keep this in good condition and keep this in a good place, this card will do really well. If you want to get it graded, of course, you're going to get the premium of the slab, and it's going to continue to move up in price as we have seen with the Flareon and with the Pikachu. Generation stuff and these full arts are definitely starting to move forward, which was a theory that I had that might happen. As new EX cards come out, the old EX cards may go up in value because more people are searching Pokemon EX cards, and they get the old with the new. And then, of course, the prices all start to move up with that potential. So once again, I think we're seeing that partially. People are seeing these older Flareons, these older Pikachus, as people are looking with the new Scarlet and Violet line having the EXs back. And I think that that's going to continue to perform really well in the next few years. So once again, not afraid to jump in on this card at $40. I think there's great potential, and I think it's going to continue to move up in price at a very good pace. Once again, definitely something to jump into. I think now is a good time to get into it as any. It's just going to keep going up in value. So we're going to head into the last one, which is going to be this. All right, guys, here we are. We have made it to the end. That's right. We are down to the final card of the 6. That's right. I gave you a bonus one in there. And if you have made it this far into the video, as always, I'm going to remind you to hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, hit hit that like button. Hopefully I brought you some good value in this. Hopefully if you are an investor, you see some opportunities to purchase these now. If you're a collector trying to finish your Pokemon collection, there's that opportunity to get in on that and get your binders filled up before these cards continue to go up in value. And overall, I hope that this was a good informative video to just help you in general for a direction to go in the Pokemon TCG. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and kick into the last card of the night, which is going to be this one. All right, guys, that's right. We have got the Skyla Full Art from Shining Fates. This one is another one of those waifu cards I think will do extremely well in the future. And as this waifu craze continues to build just from Japan moving into the English, we're starting to see a little bit more traction on some of these waifus, and this Skyla is one of them that I see it in. Right now, this one has gone up from about $16 to $19 in about the last 6 weeks. And overall, I don't see it stopping at that point. It's going to continue to move up in price as time goes on. Overall, I think it's a beautiful card. When Shining Fates came out, it was an awesome full art when it came down to the actual trainer galleries. And it really looks good inside of a collection. It's a standout full art trainer, and I think it's got places to go. Overall, it's right now you can get this thing at about $19, which to me is right where I've been purchasing them anyways. When it went under 20, I started purchasing more of these. I purchased one to finish the collection, and then I've purchased about 8 more in order to completely put some away for investment purposes. I thought that this card had some really good opportunities, and I do not think that that's going to change anytime soon. When you look at this particular card in general, Shining Fates is starting to run out. We're starting to see Shining Fates disappearing off the shelf. As it disappears off the shelf, there's getting to be more and more opportunity for Shining Fates cards and singles to go up in value. We've just seen the last real push of product. Pokemon Center is now sold out of Shining Fates, and that means that overall what's probably out there on the shelves right now and what's left in the general wild is definitely going to be drawing away and going to disappear, and it's going to have an opportunity for these singles to go up. Overall, for a Pokemon card investment, I think that this is a great opportunity, and I think there's some really good potential in this card. As it goes down for the grading right now, it's about $80. So if you get a PSA 10, you're looking at getting about an $80 value inside of this particular card. If you do get it in a 9, you're only looking at approximately a $35 value. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to change futuristically. As waifu craze continues to move forward, as things continue to change in this market, there's definitely that opportunity that the value of this will continue to go up. And we are seeing it. The value is moving up on both of those. It's just not quite as fast as the single itself. That's not a big deal. Overall, we can see singles move first and then grading follow behind it as there gets to be more and more demand for this card. And so as long as there's a lot of singles out there, there's the potential that there's going to be quite a few graded cards coming up in the near future. So once again, hopefully this card will do really well. I think it will. I like it. I think it's a great addition to have for your Pokemon card investments, and overall it will do fantastic in the future. So hopefully this is a good list, guys. Hopefully this helps you out a lot in your Pokemon journey for your Pokemon card investments. And overall, I hope that this list is something that's good. This is going to be one of two. This is going to be a second list. I found so many the first time that I definitely wanted to bring this forward to you on this one and continue this drive and moving forward. So if you do like this content, as I just said before, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, hit that like button. And as always, I will be putting 2 videos at the end of this for you to watch for your information, including the first video of the singles that were up. And if that's not enough for you, I'll put up another video that'll probably be our Choose Your Path series, which will be coming up on Wednesday with Nick from Old School Pokemon, joining us for Choose Your Path, talking about a direction in, of course, business and the Pokemon TCG. Other than that, I will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.